Hey, what's going on? Luke here. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about whether I would make any changes to the Queensland State of Origin side for Game 1 of the 2021 series. Now, the short answer to this one is I wouldn't really make any changes, but we're just sort of looking hypothetically if there were changes that I would make sort of in a world where I was picking the exact side. Now, the team that I've actually picked, I look at it and I say it's a pretty decent team. It's on the screen as you can see right now, and there's no real flaws in it. It's still a pretty decent side. Obviously, Valentine Holmes at fullback as Ponga's out, and there's a few other injuries and such. They've actually gone with Harry Grant, who hasn't actually started a game for the Storm in a long time. They've started with him, and they've moved Reed Money to an extended bench along with Cohen Hess and Kyle Feldt. But at the moment with the Maroon side, as it is every year, there's always talks of who's actually going to end up playing due to injuries. There's a lot of talk now that Brimson's actually injured and that Ben Hunt's going to be rushed into the side. There's always going to be a lot of talk with the Maroons. You never know what team they're actually going to field on game day. But regardless, I'm just going to go off this side and I'm just going to discuss any changes that I'd actually make to this side. And like I said, just looking at the side, there's no real changes that I'd make. There's no one who's like a big miss or you're looking at it and you're like, how did he not get picked? There's no one in either side really, both Queensland and New South Wales, that you look at and you go, yeah, he definitely should be playing. So it does make it a little bit hard, but I'm just going to look at sort of even just nitpicking this side and just make a few changes. Now, the first change that I would make would actually be Xavier Coates. I would drop him and I bring in Kyle Feldt. And the reason being is I think Kyle Feldt just has a lot more experience. I think he's a better all-rounder. Even his kickoffs are quite effective. I think they could be effective in Origin. And I kind of talked about it in my little preview of the Queensland side when I was sort of reviewing their side, I should say, instead of preview. But I talked about Kyle Feldt and I was surprised that he wasn't picked. But it's kind of like Xavier Coates. I don't really have a problem with him being picked. But it's just the fact that Kyle Feldt's been around for so long, and I think it'd be a shame for him to not ever play Origin. But it does look like there's a great possibility that he's actually going to end up playing due to injuries to the backline for Queensland. But yeah, Kyle Feldt, he would be someone that I would include. And Xavier Coates, it's more so the fact that I think you keep Valentine Holmes in the side, and you might think in Valentine Holmes, you got him at fullback. That goes into my next pick. So I'd move Valentine Holmes to the wing. So my two wingers would be Val Holmes, and I'd have Kyle Feldt, the North Queensland connection. And then at fullback, I would have AJ Brimson. I know he's got a little bit of an injury cloud, and also I know he does add some versatility off the bench as well. So I understand them picking him on the bench, but at the same time, I think if you don't have Kalen Ponga there, you got to have AJ Brimson. Val Holmes, I know he's sort of hit some form at fullback, but Brimson, he's been good for a long time. And I know Val Holmes has been very good for the Cowboys, and he's been good for Queensland for many years, but it's mostly been on the wing. We haven't really seen him be too effective at fullback, even in the NRL, let alone at Origin level, whereas AJ Brimson has been absolutely killing it. We saw him smash it last year too for the Queensland as well. In the one game that he played before he got injured, he was actually killing it. He scored a nice little try. So I don't understand picking Brimson on the bench, but look, Val Holmes at fullback, I wouldn't really have any problems with that either. And then having Brimson off the bench, I think it's probably just due to the fact that he's probably a good bench option. But look, for me, Brimson, he'd be fullback. Basically, at the moment, all the changes that I've made have all been backline players, and that's pretty much what it's going to be. The last one that I would say, though, is one that I thought was going to happen to start off with, and that's with Reed Money starting at the 9 and then Harry Grant coming off the bench. And also that would go into effect with AJ Brimson starting as well. So Brimson is their utility sort of player on the bench at the moment. I would have Harry Grant there. I know he's not a utility, but they've got enough players who can cover positions in other areas. And look, it's Origin. You can just chuck players in willy-nilly and they'll probably do a decent job. We're seeing guys who've never played positions before get picked in Origin sides and absolutely carve up. So I think you get away with it. I know with all the head knocks and all that sort of stuff, you probably want to carry utility on the bench there, but look, I think Reed Money's been in fantastic form, and Harry Grant, I think he'll be a little bit underdone. And I know they're going off the back of, he's going to be ready for Origin, but I just don't know if you're ever going to be ready for Origin going into the game and sort of being underdone. I don't know if that's what you want to do, especially for Game 1. I think for me, this is a must-win for Queensland. So the fact that they're going with Harry Grant at the 9, I think they must be confident that he is fully fit, but just the fact that he hasn't been starting games for the Storm, even when he was fit, I think it says a lot about it. I think he only played like 1 or 2. The rest were all coming off the bench. So I know they have the luxury of having Brandon Smith, who's a New Zealand hooker, but at the same time, Queensland have the luxury of Reed Money there as well, who's been killing it in 2021. So for me, I would have went Reed Money at 9 and have Harry Grant come off the bench, but I suppose there's a little bit of lack of utility value there. Should there be some injuries, but look, I'm sure you could have chucked in Reed Money at lock or something, or just shuffled some players around. They would have been able to do a decent job there. So yeah, I do understand the logic of it, and that's why I'm not really kicking and screaming at the fact that these changes haven't been made or weren't really considered, because I think the Queensland side, as it is a very strong side. I think it's probably the strongest side they could really name. These are just, like I said, nitpicking these ones. So there were a few changes I would make. For the New South Wales side, I'll get to that tomorrow, but it's kind of similar, but there's not too many changes that I would have made. Even in the Queensland side, like I said, realistically, I don't know if I would actually change these ones. These are just some changes that I would toss up as well. So leave in the comment section below. Is there anyone who's missed out on a Queensland selection? Let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on my ideas? Do you think Reid Marnie should start? Do you think Harry Grant should start? Do you think Kyle Feldt should get a start as well? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, while you're at it, if you happen to enjoy this video, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to use the notification bell. It's in the corner somewhere. Click on that, turn it on, and you will never miss a video of mine. Because we know sub boxes, they're quite dodgy, so don't rely on them. Use the notification bell. Also, give me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke and YT. My Facebook page is just Mr. Luke, but everything else is Mr. Luke and YT. Just go ahead and give me a follow on that. And stay tuned for more content on the channel. Like I said, I got a New South Wales one coming out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, and plus all the other State of Origin content. So stay tuned for all of that, and I'll see you in the next video. See yous.